All right, let's talk about something huge. We're going to architect a different kind of company today. Not one that's all about the latest gadget or some fancy tech, but one that's built around a real person. You guessed it, the customer. We're going to break down exactly how you put them right at the heart of everything you do.
So, let me ask you something right off the bat, and I want you to really think about it. What's at the core of your business? Like really at the core? Is it that amazing product you've built, that groundbreaking tech? Or is it the person you're doing all this for? We're about to dive into what happens when you make that choice. When the answer is, hands down, the customer.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First up, we're going to lay down the foundation. What does customer first actually mean? Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of building those strong relationships. After that, we're opening up the leader's toolkit, the practical stuff. And finally, we'll talk about why this isn't a one-and-done deal, but a journey that never really ends.
All right, let's jump into our first section, putting the customer first. Look, before we get into any of the how-to stuff, the tools and tactics, we've got to get the foundation right. This is the big idea, the philosophy that's got to be behind every single decision.
So let's get one thing straight. Customer centricity, it's not just some trendy marketing buzzwords you throw around. No way. It's a real, boots-on-the-ground operational strategy. It's about connecting everyone from the CEO right down to the person on the front line with one simple, powerful question. Is this good for our customer?
And this right here, this is the huge mental shift we're talking about. You're moving away from just thinking about transactions. You know, that one-time sale. A transaction is over in a flash. But a relationship, that's a whole different ballgame. It's an ongoing thing, built on trust. Companies that get this right aren't just thinking about this quarter's numbers. They're literally building a business that's designed for a decade of loyalty.
Okay, so if it's all about relationships, then the big question is, how do you actually build them? And not by accident, but on purpose, systematically. That's what our next section is all about. We're going to look at the 3 key pillars you need to build any strong customer relationship.
These 3 right here, they're the non-negotiables. Consistency is pretty simple. It means your customer knows what to expect, and it's always good, every single time. Authenticity, that just means you walk the talk. Your actions line up with your promises. And then there's empathy. This is the big one. It's about truly getting where your customer is coming from, their needs, their headaches, all of it.
And here's why this matters so much. This isn't just some feel-good, let's be nice exercise. These pillars hit your bottom line hard. Because when customers experience this stuff, consistency, authenticity, empathy, they don't just stick around. They become your biggest fans. They turn into your best marketing team, and you don't even have to pay them.
All right, so we've talked about the what and the why. Now for the fun part, the how. It's time to open up the leader's toolkit and look at the actual tools of the trade, the stuff you can use to take this big idea and make it happen every single day.
Okay, 2 of the heavy hitters in this toolkit are customer journey mapping and persona development. Think of it like this. Journey mapping is like drawing a map of the entire process a customer goes through with you, from A to Z, every little interaction. Then personas help you understand the person taking that journey. Who are they? What do they want? What drives them crazy? When you put these 2 together, wow, you can see exactly where things are breaking down, and for who. It lets you fix problems with like surgical precision. And that's the whole point, right? When you use these tools the right way, you stop creating these generic, one-size-fits-all processes. Instead, you start designing experiences that feel personal. Your customer stops feeling like just another ticket number and starts feeling like a real person, someone you actually get and someone you value.
Which brings us to our last and honestly most important section. We're calling it a continuous journey. And that's because this whole customer-centric thing, it's not a project with a finish line. It's a mindset, a culture that you have to weave into the very fabric of your company if you want to succeed for the long haul. I really want to hammer this point home. You can't just go customer-centric for a few months and then check it off your list. It's not an initiative. It is a deep, permanent shift in how your company thinks, operates, and makes decisions forever.
And this is the engine that keeps it all going. It's this beautiful, continuous loop. You start by listening, and I mean really listening, to the data, to surveys, to actual conversations. Then you adapt. You change things based on what you heard. Next, you deliver that better value back to the customer. And then, you do it all over again. You just repeat that cycle, getting a little bit smarter and a little bit better every single time.
And here's the payoff, the big reward for all that work.
You can see right here how every time you go through that cycle, you're building something real. This isn't about a temporary boost in satisfaction scores. No, with every single loop, you're making your brand stronger and your customer relationships more solid. It's like an investment that just keeps compounding over time.
So, let's wrap it up with this one final thought. You know, a lot of companies are pretty good at the listening part. They send out the surveys, they track the data, they have binders full of feedback. But the real question, the one that separates the great from the good, is what are you going to do with it? Being customer-centric isn't about collecting data. It's about having the guts to actually change based on what that data tells you. So let me ask you, are you just listening, or are you truly ready to adapt?